Her heritage is Cherokee, and she's the new producer and host of a show that's going to be seen monthly on RSU TV. Our guest right now is Jennifer Loren. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Long been an admirer.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You've got honors out the wazoo. I mean, you've got Emmys, you've got everything else on the shelf.
I've had a really exciting and fun career, and I'm really excited about this next step in my career.
Before we get into it, what is it? What are you with Cherokee Nation now?
I am the executive producer and the host of a new television show produced for the Cherokee Nation. It's going to it's a 30-minute show, and it will air each week, but it will be a monthly episode, and it will explore the Cherokee Nation, the places, the people, the culture, the history, all of the wonderful stories that the Cherokee Nation has to offer. I'll be bringing those to you all as the producer of the show and also as the host.
What a great opportunity. Jennifer, we have a short clip that we're going to run at this point in time. So if you would, folks, take a look at this.
The Cherokees.
A thriving American Indian tribe.
Our history.
Our culture. Our people.
Our future.
The principles of a historic nation.
Sewn into the fabric of a modern world.
Hundreds of thousands strong.
Learning. Growing.
Succeeding.
And steadfast.
In the past, we have persevered through struggle.
But the future is ours to write.
Osiyo.
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 These are the voices of the Cherokee people.
I'm Principal Chief Bill John Baker. Osiyo, and welcome to the Cherokee Nation. We're so proud to share our stories with you. Wado.
Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. I'm your host, Jennifer Loren, in Tahlequah, the heart of the Cherokee Nation. This show is the first of its kind. We'll take you on a journey through Cherokee country and bring you the personal stories of the people who shape our nation.
You really look good there. I mean, I got to tell you, and the whole production just smacks of quality.
We have very high production values. I couldn't be happier. When I see that, it still gives me chills. That's our baby. You know, that's the introduction to the show, what we call in the business the show open. And we spent a lot of time on that, getting it just right, and very proud of it.
I don't know, and I've said this so many times, I don't know that folk who aren't native to this part of the country, I don't know if they're aware of the stories that are out there of all of the tribes, but especially the Cherokee Nation. I mean, incredible history there. And you're going to be getting into a lot of that, aren't you?
Absolutely. And to expand a little bit about what you were saying there, when I started working in this job, I quickly learned that there are people who literally don't believe that Native Americans are alive anymore. They think that Native Americans are extinct. And so there are, I mean, you have people that believe things like that, and then you have, it runs the gamut. You have people who believe things, they think they know things about Native Americans and all of the various tribes. And then you have people who do have some knowledge and, you know, limited knowledge, but I think that this show will really hit a very broad audience and tell Cherokee specific stories that are very interesting. And really, honestly, people who live in Oklahoma and have grown up around tribes and grown up around Cherokees, I believe that they'll be surprised by the stories that we tell, because there is so much to learn within the Cherokee Nation and in northeastern Oklahoma that people, even with a pretty great knowledge of Native American issues, there's a lot that you just don't know.
Oh, I know, and it's always been a kind of a point of humor for me when and I've said this many times before, folks driving through Oklahoma, going down the freeway, and off in the distance they see smoke. We'll assume it's a farmer burning brush or some kind of something going on that's under control, and might not realize it's a ceremony that goes back hundreds of years.
Right. And these are things that we'll explore with our show. We'll talk about all different parts of the Cherokee Nation and bring all of these stories. It's like they're hidden gems, because for whatever reason, these stories have not been told I know that technology has come a long way and it's helping us, obviously. Excuse me. But it is, there are stories out there that need to be told. People have been asking for them to be told, and they're finally going to be told. And they're beautiful stories. They're rich stories. They have so much context, and I can't wait to put them out there.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm so impressed that they've got you in charge of this, because quite frankly, you're in a position now to help rewrite history books. Things that have been printed about Cherokees, said about Cherokees, attributed to Cherokees, you're going to be able to set the record straight.
In fact, we're doing that in the first episode, which is going to be airing starting this Sunday. The story of Ned Christie is one that a lot of people misunderstand. Ned Christie is known as an Indian outlaw to many people. He has been in books, he has been in magazines. He was accused of killing a United States Marshal. Many people, he was hunted and ultimately killed for that crime and put on display. But in the Cherokee Nation, he is not seen as an outlaw. He is seen as a patriot and someone who fought for the Cherokees. And it is an incredible story. And in our first episode, we're going to tell the whole story, talking to Cherokee historians, talking to descendants of Ned Christie, and talking to people that really are excited about setting the record straight.
You do realize that Hollywood's going to take issue because with John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn, who went after Ned Christie in the film True Grit, you know what's coming.
Well, sure. We'll have people coming from all directions, I'm sure. We're prepared. We are prepared.
A lot of the stories, too, Jennifer, that I've always been intrigued by, center around things that people do now very quietly, off the beaten path, tanning, buffalo grass dolls, and on, that folks don't know about.
Right.
And you're going to be able to show that.
Yes, we are. But we are also being very careful in what we are bringing to the public. If you know many Cherokees, especially people in the Tahlequah area, some people don't want to share everything about their culture. And so that's something that we are definitely taking into consideration, and we're going through all of the appropriate steps before bringing these stories to the public, because not all of them can be told in a way that maybe you think. But they will be, we will definitely be increasing people's knowledge about all of those things. We have a list of stories that started out as a little over 100, just off the bat, story ideas that grew immensely. And it's endless. We could do stories, and they're all interesting, amazing stories, and we could just keep doing them. We could go on and on and on.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for this to happen. Now, when will the premiere of the show be?
The premiere of the show is this Sunday, the 15th, and in the Tulsa area market, it is going to be on Channel 8, KTUL at 9 a.m. And then the following week, it will be here on RSU TV at various times. You can go to Osiyo, which is how we say hello in Cherokee, for those of you that don't know. It's OSIYO.TV, and we have a page you can click on there that gives you all of the show times. It's also going to air in Joplin, in that market, and it's also going to air in Fort Smith and Fayetteville. And then it will also air on FNX, the new all-native network that RSU is going to be carrying.
That's right.
It's a national network.
It seems like the exposure for all of the people will be invaluable.
Yes.
In terms of having the young who maybe have not been exposed say, I didn't know that.
Right.
Because you ain't going to find a lot of this in history books.
Right. And that's something I think that as people as people grow older, I think a lot of people want to know more about their history and their heritage and their roots. And the problem is that you don't always have time to explore it. There's just, you want to know more about your Cherokee heritage or your neighbor's Cherokee heritage or the people who live in your state, the Cherokees. But there's just not a lot of, nobody has time to go and do all of the research and learn that much about their heritage as they would like to. So this is just a platform for us to bring some of that to people. And I think it's a great resource for Cherokees that live in Cherokee communities. The show will also, it will tell the stories of the Cherokee people, but it's also going to highlight events, news items that are happening, keeping people up to date, giving people information on where they can go to certain medical clinics, things of that nature. So it will be a very good resource for people in northeastern Oklahoma who are Cherokee, but it's also going to be a good resource for Cherokees who maybe aren't kept abreast of everything. They aren't really in tune with everything that's going on with the tribe. Maybe they live in another part of Oklahoma, and they can log in onto our website and watch the stories and become up to date. And then also you have the broad reach of people in the whole country who have, maybe they're Cherokees. We have a lot of Cherokees in California,
Oh, yeah.
by the way. And so they can now watch this show and be kept abreast of situations that are going on with our tribe, and also learn more about our tribe.
Will you be exchanging or perhaps making this available to the Eastern Band as well? Of
Making it,
Cherokees?
well, it's available to everyone. It is about the Cherokees here in Oklahoma, the show is. But obviously, you know, we are going to be touching on a lot of things. We know obviously the Trail of Tears is going to be a part of our a part of our show, and the Remember the Removal Ride, which, have you heard of the Remember the Removal Ride? So that is where we take several young Cherokees, and they go on a 3-week-long bicycle tour, basically retracing their ancestors' steps on the Trail of Tears. And it's actually a very emotional experience for a lot of them, because they get to connect with places and parts of history that tie with their ancestors and see, this is where my family was forced to cross this river. And these are things that they've experienced and they've written about them, but now we're going to be able to go along with them and show this journey and show people what it looks like in Georgia, you know, show people what it looks like back east and bring that to people. And I do want to say that the crew that I'm working with is just, I can't say enough about them.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Tell us about the crew itself.
We're working with a production company called Fire Thief Productions, and it's owned by 2 very well-known and very well-respected artists, Sterling Harjo, who is a filmmaker who is from here in Oklahoma. He's very well renowned. A lot of people know his name and know his work. He's done Native films. He is Creek and Seminole, and he is...
They know him well at Sundance.
At Sundance. He has shown at Sundance, yes, a couple of times. And I mean, he's one of our producers and directors, and I can't say enough, you know, he thinks creatively, and just the images that we choose to show are always top notch. And Jeremy Charles is the other person, the other owner of that production company.
Jennifer, we're out of time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I can think of no person better to take the reins of this project than yourself, and I'm really looking forward to it. And thanks again for taking time.
I am too. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it so much. Coming up, the latest from the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame right after this.